Everybody, morning. See, we've got Larry, Rob, David, Erdy, David, Ivan, Hugh, Jerry, Diane, Donald, Sergio. Good to see you. Hope you made it back all good. I think that's what you said. Craig, David, Skaggs. Good to see you. Will, Arturo, Cliff, Ed, Mary, Mark, Mad, Eric, Francois, Kay, Joseph, Jim, Gary, Ted, General Rush. Good to see you, sir. Ed, Frank, Diana, excuse me, S. Kohler, Diana. We got lots of Dianas. Even the lady that puts out alerts through one click, her name is Deanna. And Jason, Jason, back. Welcome everybody. So this is what I'm seeing on Bitcoin right now. It was a massive pullback. Yes, indeedy do. That move, first move down. This little baby retrace right here. Not very big. But look at that. A, B, C. Absolutely beautiful correction right into the 1 hour roadmap line. And a potential reversal. I like it. What do y'all think? Like that? I think that's an ABC. Absolutely beautiful correction right there. I mean, I'm thinking about possibly getting the Crypto Unleashed trade on here. Right in here. Looks pretty sweet. Might do that later. Thinking about it. We held an emergency Bitcoin breakout roundtable yesterday. Funny enough, by the time we did it, Bitcoin kind of giving it back up. And look at that. That's a 4. Very clear. That's a 4. That was a 5. This is a 2 of some sort. All right, this is classic wave 4 action, wave 5 action, wave 2 action. Fast retrace, sets it up for a new run right there. What degree? I don't care. That's the beauty of this thing right here. That's classic wave 4 action right there. You see that consolidation with ambiguity? Wave 4. That's what I think of when I see this right here. Wave 4. That right there. Powerful. Wave 5. And we gave it up into a wave 2. A, B, C. Proportions. Very enthusiastic to the downside. Very quick. Classic 2. You see the differences between. This is alternation. You see fast 2 versus the slow grind, nasty 4. Very classic. So digging into Elliott wave stuff. This is the kind of stuff I'm looking for. Like this correction right here kind of gets me a little bit excited. Now, is there a possibility that this pops up here to the 618 and then fails? Absolutely. Absolutely possible. That's why we watch it. Right? That's why we watch this level right here. But look, we tend to get a consolidation at the 618. This is what gets me so excited. Like, look at this. On the way down, why did it stop here? That 618 level wasn't there until we made this low. Right? It wasn't there, but we stopped and consolidated right there and then proceeded on down. Stopped exactly right there, which put the 618 right there. Now, need to break above to get continuation higher. That next move up, put us up here, 127. Somewhere in that zone, right in there. That'd be pretty sweet. Yeah. I know. David, I know you're excited. Like, we need some more, right? More. And my team's sending me messages while I'm live. Love it. Anyway, yeah. So we've got the profit panel coming up at. Why does this keep popping up? Stop sending me messages. So we've got the profit panel coming up at 11. I'll be on that today. In case anybody doesn't know, it's prosperitypub.com/profit panel. Throw that into Discord. I can type it out. prosperitypub.com/profit panel. There, put it in the chat. Copy the link. Save it for later. That'll be on Zoom, not on YouTube. So, I guess before we talk any further, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. I predict things. Sometimes I get it right. Sometimes I don't. I kind of expected us to pull back after that little pop yesterday, and that's kind of what we got. That builds the opportunity to go higher again. So this presentation here, informational, educational, fun, entertaining. Hopefully you're entertained. This is, good, bad, or ugly, whether you consider media, news, whatever, entertainment, it's all entertainment. And me being on here, entertainment. You can go do whatever it is you want to do with your time. All right. I'm not trying to recommend you do anything with your money. It's not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument or anything from gurus like me. Don't buy stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries. You might lose money doing this thing we do called trading. Most gurus full of crap. Most gurus don't actually give a... There's a lot of people that say they care about how you're doing. I don't think a lot of people actually do. I listen to people in the background. I just... It's unfortunate, but I really do have a vested interest. But if you desire somebody to tell you what buttons to push, and you want personal financial advice, you got to hire and consult a financial advisor. It's not what I do. Today we had CPI coming out in the pre-markets. Right here. Like I said, I thought we'd get an inline number. Guess what? Hard to get more inline than inline. Core came in a little light. Year over year came in a little hot. It's kind of funny, right? The month over month comes in exactly what they expected, but somehow the year over year comes in high and the core comes in low. Yeah. I don't know. Don't think it meant anything. The market liked it though. We're going up, grinding up today. So, I talked about this yesterday. Didn't really get many people say anything, but I thought about keeping track of who's number 1, number 2, number 3 on the chat. If you haven't noticed, I have a top fans leaderboard thing. Kind of throws up. You see it right there. This is my broadcast software. Throws up the top fans list, and I thought about trying to keep track of that and giving away something. I was talking with my team yesterday. I built a brand new strategy that Termite Trading Labs has had access to for a month or so. And the team doesn't have a lot of enthusiasm for selling it. Like, the gains are too small, the blah, blah, blah. I don't know. This is what it looks like. I call it the buy the freaking dip. All right. You can put whatever you want to in the F. Buy the fork and dip. Buy the freaking dip. Buy the fudge field dip. It's a pullback, trend pullback continuation strategy. That's what I do, right? That's how I trade. So yesterday, 3 o'clock, it fires off at 3 o'clock. That's when the entry alerts hit in mass. All right. Sometimes there's a couple stragglers. Now, a couple sell signals come in usually because it's a 10-day strategy. All right. That one, 10-day hold, get out, GTFO. So this is kind of like, I built this. It's been running for about a month, I think. Let's see. Here's this, actually 2 months almost 2 months now. Here's the strategy. Buy when the stock has reached a new 10-day low, trading above the 50 and 200-day moving average. Sell when price reaches a new 10-day high, or drops below the 50-day moving average, or has been open for 10 days. right? So I took that and built it into an automated alert system. Now, the key was right here. I ran the back test on 4,000 stocks and built a list of 546 of them that had a profit factor greater than 1.9. So even though when I talk about the daily setups, I like those profit factors better than 2. So I built this list, 546 tickers. Now, the bummer, you go look at most of these, they don't have options. So when I said that the majority of these don't have options, the team was like, I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I want to sell that. So I thought about giving people access to this. If you are the top participant for the month, you can get access to this. Does that sound like something that people might want? I mean, Termite Trading Lab, you've already got it. Like, you already have access to this thing. But like this, Celsius, buy the dip. That was on the 11th. I mean, it's got some good stuff in here. Some do have options. There are some little quirks, like it does get choppy when the moving average is right on the entry. I don't like those so much after trading these a few months. Did I trade these? I did trade these quite a lot up here. I was posting my trades. Did pretty darn good. I mean, there's one on GE Veranova right there. Bought it 464, sold it 486. Was open for 10 days. Not bad. Bought on the 10th, sold on the 20th of June. So I don't know. I'm trying to have a conversation with everybody. If you like the idea, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the description down below. If it doesn't sound cool, that's cool too. So take some barbecue. Yeah, I mean, Termite Trading Lab, I treat y'all well anyway. Come to town when we do our annual meetups. I always give you something. So anyway, I got the thing. I built it. Nobody wants to sell it, so I'm trying to come up with something to use, some way to use it. It does win. Laura been trying to keep stats on it. She said, just right here, I've been doing some of these. Been setting an automatic 2% return. Many of them close out in a day or two. Probably leaving some money on the table. Yeah, I mean, some pop bigger than 2%. And she's been putting a 4% stop on them. I don't remember where that update was. Right here. And the win rate, 59% on 147 of them. Change the stop to 4% on the downside. Profit went up 1.1%. 1% a week. Think about that a minute. 1% a week. Just doing basic trades. Shares. You get in, out, after hours most of the time. Hey, Nikki. Good to see you. So, there's not many with options. I mean, I could go through and try to figure out which ones have options, but which ones have liquid options. That's a whole different question too. Like, which ones have options? Some of them do have monthly options, but then they're not liquid. So where do you draw the line? That's why a lot of systems I stick with the top 400 by options volume. And what is 1% compounded weekly? And dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Don't you love AI? Doesn't, like, there's no answer there. Let's say 5,000 bucks. Interest rate calculation for 5 years. Let's calculate. So look at that number. Make 1% a week. Compound it. That's not a bad number. Right, David? Kind of reminds me of this right here. Now, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but this thing's been smoking. Smoking hot. I posted an update yesterday. Cool. Right here. Open that baby up for me, please. Look at that. Now, I'm holding like $10,000 in net open profit in the 50K challenge. Last night, that went over 20%, closer to 19,000 a day, or at least it was pre-market. That's pretty crazy, right? I mean, like $10,000 open profit I'm sitting on. It's mostly Rocket Lab. Oh, a big chunk of it's Rocket Lab. Right there. Look at that. Right up through the top of the target. I've got 41 calls sold on this thing for this Friday. If this continues to rip, I'll get called out at 41. Got in at 25 or 20. I think my cost was down to 24 with the calls I sold. Not bad. It's not a bad move, right? Not a bad catch. That's what I'm trying to do here. This is the prime example. So we're talking about 41 minus 24, 17 bucks of upside. And I did that on 700 shares that I got put. Not bad. Not bad. So that's what we're trying to do right here. That was a perfect bounce right there on the daily chart. Perfect bounce right here. An extension right up into the targets. This might go on up to 55. It may very well go on up to 55. Am I going to be sad about it? Not really. Just made a nice chunk of money. Do I got others I'm playing? Yeah, like I got put shares on this one. Now, could it do the down like we've talked about on Mag 7? Absolutely. Could do an A. Absolutely beautiful correction. If it does that, cool. I'm going to add more to the position. If we bounce right where we are, that's a move down, move up, potential A or 1, retrace, holding the 618786 zone, potential to go up from here. This is the coin flip situation, right? Like, does it go up? Does it go down? If we go up, look at these ridiculous numbers we could go up to. This could be another Rocket Lab type thing, right? If we bounce from that measured bounce target, we could be up here, 117. I don't know about you, but catching a stock that goes, my cost was 77, I think it was 77.50 maybe. I don't know. That's a $40 upside. 40 bucks times 300. 0, 0, 0. It's another $12,000 right there. Potential. Now, I have 78 calls sold against it. I might get called out. Then I lost the potential and I just resell again. Like I resell another put. This has been grinding right here and providing me lots of premium. I have shares of this in my dad's account too. He's down to a cost basis of like 73 already. So this is the, I call this the turbo wheel strategy. Why turbo wheel? Because I'm looking for stuff that's already pulled back. And this double pullback was the ideal, because this is a potential 1, 2, 3 would be here, 4 probably back in this vicinity, might grind in here a little while, and then 5 potentially on up there, maybe the 1618. That's why I've been so, attacking this one so aggressively right there, because of this potential. Now, if it goes on down here, no big deal. We just completed a bigger correction. I worked the position a little bit, sell some calls down here, or sell some puts down here, maybe put some shares, add some more to it, and then we catch the bigger move up. So it's called the turbo wheel because I aggressively go after these when they've set up a potentially bullish pattern. Now this is the potential bad here. Potential, but holding this area right here sets it up for this move, and that's why I'm chasing this one right here. That right there. Another one that I have this whole list of potentials right here. These are all bullish potentials. These all have similar sort of pullback to support patterns. Some of them need a little further downside, like Lulu. Probably needs to come on down here before I'm going to attack it. Then it depends on premium. Premium, it's like a complicated puzzle. You've got to have the pullback to support. You got to have holding support. We're not just knife catching, right? Like if you had jumped on this right here and you're riding it, and then all of a sudden it's a knife, right? Like maybe you picked it up here, dead cat bounce, the knife continues to slice your hand off and your account value. So you've got to wait for the support down here on Lulu. Docu, while it did have a nice big fat gap down and we're grinding that gap, like we keep bumping into it, trying to get through the roadmap line, trying to get into the gap, did leave a gap. Like we were up here, gap down here. This is a big resistance zone. You know what resistance zones provide? Lots of opportunity to sell premium, both on the upside and the downside. Like, why am I not too concerned about getting called out at 78? Because of the roadmap line sitting there. Now, if we get up in that area and I can roll out or book my profits and sell something a little higher, that's great. If I get lucky like on Rocket Lab and I decide not to sell premium, then all of a sudden we're jumping up $10. Even better. Even better. This one I've been really aggressive on. Sold the crap out of it down here. Earnings pop. Beautiful. It's probably going on up to like 110. That's the target up here. Been pretty aggressive on that one. Made a lot of money on this one. I started trading it back here. Been selling puts, selling puts, selling puts. I laid off of it for a week or two and got back on it. Now, I didn't like that gap up. I'm a trend pullback continuation trader, so that gap up was a little, we went past the 1618, so do a pullback. We pull back again, back on it, selling puts. UAL has earnings this week. Very similar pattern to Delta. In fact, it gapped up with Delta, like a sympathy gap. Now it might come back down here, but this one has bigger upside potential. The upside on this one, maybe up to 200. I like it. Celsius, I'm just waiting on the pullback here. Like that BTFD strategy kicked off. Might rally higher. Might come back to the roadmap line. If we do that, probably getting on it again with puts. This one made me quite a bit of money here. I would love to see this top out in this vicinity here, pull back to the roadmap line, get me continuation. Buy some puts here, or sell some puts here, put some shares, buy some shares here, and capture that move. Like we could go from 35 to 75, like a $40 move. Beautiful potential. Beautiful potential. Merc here. I've been blasting on this one. Selling puts. I think this potentially bottomed. Big picture. Move up. Retrace. Held the 618. Moving back up into the roadmap line. If we break out, we could see this way up here. 300. Put some shares at 80 and ride it to 300 would be pretty massive right there. Not saying we were going to ride it. I'm just, there's the upside potential. So I probably have humps and bumps and pullbacks along the way. This one potentially went a little deeper than I hoped for. Moved up to the roadmap line, pulled back into support. I've been selling puts like crazy here. Upside resistance here, upside resistance here, upside potential all the way to the top, 65. This is a nested 1, 2, 1, 2. Fat upside potential. Look at that. You get put at 18 and ride up to 70. That's like a $50 move. I've been going at it with 12 puts. Right there, 12. 1,200 shares with a $50 move. $60 grand. Pretty nice, right? That's the kind of potential sitting there on that chart. That's why I've been aggressively doing that. That's part of my 50K challenge. Like, that's what I'm doing. I haven't really explained it outside of my trading lab, but there you go. Right, for those that want to know what I'm doing, how am I doing this? How am I getting these numbers? How are we getting this performance? Right? How does this happen? That's how it happens. This has turned into pretty big money. Started out kind of boring for a lot of people. I can't even count the number of people that told me this is too boring, but is this still looking boring? Right there? I know Sergio, I know Goose, don't think it's boring whatsoever. I know, Dawn doesn't think it's boring. But, and that's not a very big account. 100,000, that's not really a big account. So, and there's no volatility in this, no pullbacks. That's what I've been doing. For those of you that wonder, like, what I actually trade, what I've actually been doing, I'm taking my signature roadmap pattern, applying the wheel strategy to it, and I call it the turbo wheel. Focusing on the most bullish stocks that I can find, which is this list right here. You want to know the most bullish potentials? Here it is right there. It's right here on YouTube. You can pause it, rewind, grab it, whatever. Those are my most bullish stocks. Which ones am I trading? Well, I post screenshots for channel members, exactly the ones I have open. Try to do it every day. Every time I make up a change in the position, I try to post that. Termite Trading Lab, I give exactly when I'm trading, where I'm trading, how big I'm trading. You get all the details inside my Termite Trading Lab group. And if you're interested in that, the link is in the description down below. You fill out the form and get with my team, and they figure out if it's a good fit for you. So that's what I've been doing. That's what's JT been doing to make money in this 50K challenge. There you go. That's it. Darren doesn't think it's boring. I mean, even if you started with like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, you can do this. You can't do it as big, but you can get these same kind of percentage results. You could be up 20%. Maybe you only sell one DJT put option. Maybe you only sell one Rocket Lab. Now, I wouldn't sell Rocket Lab right now, and this isn't actually a loss because I rolled this call option forward, kept this loss, moved up from the... This is funny right here to me. They book it as a loss, but technically it's not going to be a loss. I had the 39 strike sold. I bought back the 39 and sold the 41 for more money and net credit. I went from a 39 to a 41. That's $2 times 700 shares. That was worth $1,400 plus the premium. I got a credit for doing that. It didn't cost me anything. I got a credit for doing that of $200. So this ends up being like, I think at the end of the day, it was $1,580 potential. $1,580 to roll that from 39 to 41. Going out to this Friday, $1,500 more profit if Rocket Lab went up to 41, which we go look at the chart right now. It's at 43. Winner, winner, chicken dinner right there. Cha-chow. And maybe I can do it again. Maybe later this week, once the premium bleeds off a little bit, I can take my 41s and roll them up to 43, 44. Maybe. We'll see what happens. So that's the kind of stuff you got to pay attention to. And I do this aggressively, and I let you know what I'm thinking. I go after the premium. Like Docu. Everybody's like, JT, you're going to roll this out? I did some numbers on it on Thursday and Friday, and I could get more premium by taking the shares and selling calls than I could if this was underwater. I actually got put this. That's why it's 0 right there. I had to buy 300 shares. It was at the 78. So I have, 78 minus the 76. So like I said, I'm roughly a 77 cost in it per share. I sold the 78s for this Friday. Got more premium than I was able to get if I rolled this out a week. So that's, it's all about how do you make the most money the fastest. Got to pay attention to the numbers. The numbers matter. If you're not a numbers person, well, pay attention to somebody that is. Back to our regularly scheduled kind of program here. Yes. And chopping around a little bit. As briefed, guess what? Making the next expansion. There's the high, here's the low. Turn off the magnet because it's going to drive me crazy. Potential to going up to 63.50 on the futures. We did that correction, did that sloppy move up, did that deep retrace, held. I told you we're probably going back to a new high. Guess what we did today? Might extend it up, could be somewhere in here. Then we'll probably get another deep retrace later this week. Then we'll probably take it up even more. That's the pattern. That's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it's a diagonal. It's a nasty diagonal, unreliable, and can result in a wicked correction off the end of this when it finishes. So this is something we got to watch out for. If we finish this pattern into next week or into the end of the month, we can get a wicked correction off the end of this. Now that right there, probably 1, 2, 3, probably working on 3, 4, 5. We might get up to 33.75 on that move for futures. Look at the cash index. Oh, look. Love it. We've still got this resistance up here. 63.65. Still gunning for it. Still my expectation. Big picture. NQ, new highs. Probably still gunning for that bigger upside target around 23.4 on the futures. Russell, lower high. Be careful. This is a potential absolutely beautiful correction. Or it could be the start of a 1-2. Right now we're looking at an A, potential B. C would put us down here. And the C target at the current moment, if we do it, right down there. There's your numbers. There's your numbers. Does it have to do it? No. Doesn't have to, but that's the setup right there. Absolutely beautiful correction right there. CL got whacked. Blah, blah, blah. Russian this and tariff that and whatever. Bull, yakety schmackety. We're just grinding the roadmap line. Couldn't hold the breakout. Continue to grind. If we break down below this zone, probably going down to 50. That's support right there. Support right around that 64 area. Resistance right now is the roadmap line. And then the prior high at 78. Get through that. Get through the 618. Get through the 78 area. Probably going to 90 to 100. Long as we stay here, we can just grind this indefinitely in between this resistance and this support. Any questions on oil? Right there. Stuck in the zone. Gold. The longer this grinds in here. Yeah, this has been stopped and stuck in this area since April. May, June, July. 3 months. Probably going to go into August. 4 months. For everybody calling it like so many gurus. Just buy gold. Just buy gold. Just buy gold. Just like I've heard it. I've seen it. I've gotten emails about it. Oh, we're going to break out again. If you've been buying gold here, you're sitting here wishing you didn't. Short-term trades, sure. We've caught a few in Gold Rush. But this might come back on down. Like this. A, absolutely. B, beautiful. C, correction. A, B, C, I. That's what I expect right there. It's a trend, pullback, and then we get the continuation potential if we hit the roadmap line. Could it break out now? Possible, sure, whatever. There's a BTFD. AMED closed out right there. Bitcoin, just retracing a little bit. Like I said, like I started out the broadcast, potentially going higher. Ethereum might catch up. We got a ways to go. 5,900 would be my target area if I was really hopeful and really bullish. There's potential we go up to like 10,000, but that's a hope and a dream. Super aggressive target. The conservative target, conservative aggressive target would be 5,900 to 6,000. Now, should be careful though. As always, permacautious. I like money. We need to stick this breakout here above that 618 level, and we ground it for 3 months maybe. Now we're sitting here, potentially going to pop. Might see some resistance at 49 before we get up to that 59. Probably get some resistance at these double tops right here. And we have the all-time high top. So resistance there, and then target there. And if things get really spicy, we could go on up. Now, how do you play that? ETHU. That'd be a way to play. ETHT. That's another way to play. Ways to play. Should you buy it? I don't know if that's right for you and your account. If you don't like volatility, don't mess with crypto. This right here has potential to come back to the bottom, but also potential to, since we're just grinding at the top of the box, we might actually break out this time. It might actually be setting up for the breakout right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could see a pop and then a swift retrace and then continuation. Looks like this little sub move right here. That looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Put us right up in here. Remember, Bitcoin usually breaks out about 2 weeks before the regular market follows along. Can be as low as a couple days, can be as long as 3 weeks or 4 weeks, but average is about 2 weeks ahead. Dollar continuing the march higher, breaking through downtrend highs. As I kind of speculated, we would probably go back up to that 101 resistance at the roadmap line. So we may see this climb for the next few days. Mag 7 stuff, Apple, nothing on the Lance was we were on that roundtable yesterday afternoon, and Lance was slamming on Apple a little bit, and I jumped on that Apple has a potential setup right there. I pulled up this chart. I can go down here, and Lance got happy, and the others who were long Apple did not like that so much. But that's a absolutely beautiful correction if we do it right there. Amazon, same story. Although we are grinding higher here, we may come up and retest. We may do the meta thing on Amazon here. May come up to the 240 area. But that would also be an absolutely A, B, C. Absolutely beautiful correction. Corrections tend to take place in this proportionate three-wave move. Google grinding a little higher, but still also in that resistance zone. Potential for the absolutely beautiful correction. Although we're holding this uptrend of lows, and as long as we hold on to that on any correction, still grinding higher. Meta, grinding at the highs. Potential for the ABC. Microsoft did it back here. A, B, C, right there. And now, you see, this is the power of, like, well, JT, why didn't you do Microsoft back here? Because it was $300, and my little $100,000 account can't take on hundreds of shares of something that costs $300. All right, when I get up to into the 300,000, maybe. But right now, that's too rich. Too rich for my account. I'm kind of limited to stuff that's like $100. I've taken shots at a couple things like Nike that were expensive, McDonald's that was expensive. Taking shots at earnings, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't load up because I couldn't get the leverage. I couldn't, couldn't put that much of my account into one position. I'm trying to keep 20% per position right now, which gives me 5 main positions. I knew this was going to do this. 508. Pretty. But just couldn't. I don't have enough cash resources. Somebody wants to give me more cash resources. That's cool. I'll go after it. NVIDIA. Maybe we get this pullback. Maybe we don't. We'll see what happens. Could just keep grinding higher. 176. 212 above that. Already cruising through this one. There's the next one. Here's the next one above that. Still have potential to come back down here at some point. Still think that's the support level. That's going to be $100 down. $100 down on, golly. Each dollar on this thing's like $25 billion. $24 billion. Every dollar this thing moves is $24 billion. Go $100 down, that's like $2.4 trillion. That'd be a massive correction right there. Probably going to do it. It's got a history of doing that kind of correction. Tesla also has a number of these AB absolutely beautiful corrections set up, but bucking the trend here. I think Jack wanted to talk to me more about Tesla today during the profit panel. Got the resistance right there. We do a little baby ABC. But usually, if that's the A, that's the B. The C usually has 5 waves. And I don't know. If we break above that 618, odds are we're done here. Elon expand. So there's a lot of naysayers against this robotaxi thing. I mean, the internet, if you look up social media, there's a lot of social media anti-robotaxi. Like, it's never going to work, even though it's already been working for 22 days. I guess today's 23 days. And so Elon expanded the service area in the shape of a phallic symbol yesterday. And that area for Austin is already 7%. Like, just the area that they have inside this area of Austin is 7% of the entire area that Waymo covers nationwide. And 50% of Waymo's area is in Arizona, Phoenix area. And that's the next place that Tesla wants to deploy. So they're going to try to get more coverage than Waymo. And they're doing it in a kind of a big FU way. So I don't feel like the market's pricing this in. And they raised the price from $420 to, they took that away. Now it's $6.90 per ride on a robotaxi. You can see more of Elon's teenage boy humor at play. So I go pull all the gainers and try to look for opportunities. I pull the decliners, look for opportunity, and I bring in some setups. And today I'm just not feeling compelled to dig through most of these. I'll kind of do a high level, a lot of Bitcoin showing up on the biggest decliners, biggest losers list, of course. And here's a setup. Very pretty, actually. 37. Don't like the fact that there's been no trend. Roadmap line is flat. This is a very pretty setup, but the roadmap line's flat. So been trying to train an AI to tell me if that matters or not. And I haven't quite figured that out yet. Like, that's just not that problem's been hard to crack. Maybe I should ask my AI agents to get on that and see if they can help me figure out the problem here. But look at the statistics on that one. Yeah. 6 trades, 66%, 1.6. It's not a bad trade. Not a bad trade. So you get in here, 34, and potentially ride this up, 37, and you GTFO. Last time it worked back here when it kicked off in January. And the other one, there's only 2 of these. This one, not that great, but it did kick off the bot. I don't like this downtrending tight price action here. That doesn't mean it won't hit 1855. That's quite expensive. Costs a lot just for 1 share. Certainly not buying 100 shares of this with anything I have. So be careful out there. This has been kind of choppy. The number's not great. Does have more than 30, 54% profitable. It's not great. It's better than average, but it's, I mean, well, the average is 74%. So it's better than a coin flip slightly. But the profit factor is negative. It's below 1. So that means it's a net loser. The losses eat up the wins with the low win rate, lower than the average of the system is 74. I was saying above average is in, it's better than a coin flip, but it's below the average win rate for this pattern. This one tends to rip your money. That's the only 2 setups today. Let's poke around here a little bit. New egg. Probably got to come back to the roadmap line. Did that do a reverse split? New eggs can go out of business. I like new egg too. Coinbase, get a pullback. Imagine that. Right at resistance. Circle, continuing the bubble pattern potential. Be careful here. We can watch this dip back severely. Turn this back off. App 11. Here's support. Has a potential absolutely beautiful correction if we break down below support. Break out above resistance. Upside target 602 right there. INKT. Watch for that. MSTR. Nate didn't like my Apple analysis. I didn't really go into it, but it's not often wrong. I mean, sometimes I'm wrong, but I'm not often wrong, right? I mean, watch out for a retrace to the roadmap line. If Bitcoin goes deeper on the retrace here, Bitcoin can continue the breakout after the little intermission yesterday. There's your target up there, about 600. PDD chopping around under the roadmap line. That's not very bullish. Looks like China stuff in here pretty heavy today. Platinum continuing the move to 160. Palladium continuing the move to 120. Oh, that's a beautiful one. That's probably going to go on up into this area right here. To have that gap down. Oracle, maybe 270. ARM. Careful, that's now 3 lower highs in a row. That's major resistance. It can take it down. Watch out. Looking for anything else that might be interesting. That's at the target. Be careful. Jody. Might consider selling calls at 300. Coherent. If we can push on through that, golly, look how many tops were right there. If we push through that quadruple, quintuple, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, septuple top. If we push through that, we keep going up. But that's going to be a major resistance right there. Sezzle, Ooh, yeah, look at that. Sezzle might come back to the roadmap line. If this comes back here, that could be opportunity, baby, for bigger upside. For solar, that's a put selling opportunity right here. If it can maintain that breakout. Now the risk is a dip down to 112, so be careful. Not for me, but that is, I do like that potential. It's probably got some juicy premium right here. TSM, dang. Target 245, SMH. Probably gonna reach up, hit that 304. That may be the thing to watch for Nvidia right there. Watch that. Nvidia had some good news, working a deal with whatever to sell more H20s to China. I don't know, whatever. AMD still in that resistance, still expecting that bigger pullback. Doesn't have to do it, but. And ASML pushing on up. I really want to see this retrace to the roadmap line again. I don't know if I'll trade that again though. It's kind of rich for my blood. $800 a share. So that's kind of everything today. Bias for the next several days is still looking for that target. We're not far away. Mention, I expect us to hit that target today, tomorrow, next week, next month. I don't know. We're gonna hit it. Could we pull back first? Absolutely. Probably gonna hit it though. That's my bias right now. Is that target. Then we'll see what happens. Then I kind of expect that bigger, absolutely beautiful correction. Could be 600 or 700 points. All right. Have a great day out there, everybody. Be safe. Be careful. The account you save may be your own. Don't stay wrong in the markets. That's a big thing, right? Know where you're wrong. Cut it. Don't stay wrong. That's where you lose the big money. It's not being wrong that costs you money. Staying wrong. Stay wrong, you double down. Have a great day. We'll see you later.